What's up, y'all? So the biggest transaction in a number of years in the lock world has finally transpired. That's right, ASSA ABLOY finally got its hands on basically Kwikset. Now, the products in question here are Kwikset Wiser, Baldwin, Feister, which is, they sell faucets, I think. National Hardware, Tel, Easy Set, and Fortis. I'm not sure what Fortis is. But basically, this is the home hardware and home improvement section of Spectrum Brands. That's been under the Spectrum Brands umbrella for a good, 20 plus years. However, they started this back in like 2021. ASSA ABLOY decided they wanted more of the residential market. And when they did, they made the offer, I guess, to Kwikset or Spectrum about their HHI section. And the Department of Justice stepped in and said, no, wait a minute. If you buy all these brands, that's going to make you a global conglomerate. That's going to make you the biggest lock people in the world, which is exactly what ASSA ABLOY wanted to do, more than likely. So basically, the Department of Justice kind of held them up and said, you literally have to sell something out of your portfolio if you want to do this. You can't have it all. You can't have everything. You got to get rid of something. So we get this email about the commercial products line. Well, let me go back for a minute. The ASSA press release, the actual press release for ASSA was talking kind of more about it. The email that we got was along the commercial products line. So basically what they did is they sold their Yale residential, which encompasses Yale August, and their Emtek lines to Fortune Brands. They said, if we have to sell something, we're going to sell this to another company so that we can buy what we want to buy. And they sold it for $800 million, according to this press release. They sold the Emtek. Now, as in the locksmith world, we're used to Emtek locks. Emtek has a huge line of other products besides just locks. They have cabinet pulls, cabinet handles. Of course, their digital, their electronic line. No matter what you think about any of these products we're talking about, they're all market leaders in their own way. But they basically sold, they purchased HHI, those brands that we just had up, and they sold their Emtek Schaub, which I'm not sure what that is, and their Yale residential line, which is mainly what we think of the Yale electronic locks and Yale doorknobs and such, which I'm not even going to go on about the product quality of Yale residential locks, but so they basically sold it to Fortune Brands, and this was the press release about purchasing that from ASSA ABLOY. And here is Fortune Brands press release as well. That was ASSA ABLOY's. This is their press release. Everybody's done press releases in the past couple of days. Fortune Brands is welcoming Emtek, Schaub, Yale, and August residential locksmith business to the Fortune brand thing for $800 million. So we have that. Who knows what's going to happen? Sometimes companies buy these things and just shelve them. You never know what large corporations are going to do with the product. So what's the future of Emtek? What's the future of Yale Residential? Who cares? What's the future of August Residential? No, we don't know. We don't know what Fortune Brands is planning on doing with that, but they already own other companies, so presumably they're going to put them into their portfolio and keep them in production and maybe increase production. And who knows, Fortune Brands may grow because of this. I'm not big in the stock market thing, so I'm assuming that all this that has transpired is, I guess, raising prices in the stock market for everybody, because as this next press release from Spectrum notates, $4.3 billion. That's a lot of zeros under that. And again, we'll pull this down just to show you. Nope, not that one. We'll pull this down so that we can be reminded of what's there. Yeah, there we go. Kwikset, Weiser, Baldwin, Feister, National, Tell, Easy Set, 4.3 billion. Who knows if ASSA is going to start? You know, when ASSA buys stuff, like when they got Sargent, we used to have just Sargent on the key, and now it's ASSA Abloy Sargent. Who know? Are we going to start seeing? People are wondering if the Kwikset smart locks, the $10 doorknob with the smart lock system on it. What are we going to see? Are we going to see ASSA ABLOY Kwikset? Maybe. I'm sure the boxes are going to get branded as far as the keys and the faces of the locks and such. Will the quality go up? Will the quality go down? Will it remain the same? Will they shelve some products and get rid of them entirely? Will there be new innovations? Nobody knows besides the people at ASSA ABLOY. Obviously, they're not going to buy something for $4.3 billion without some kind of reasoning or thought process in that. So basically, Spectrum Brands is saying, hey, we sold the HHI portion of our portfolio to ASSA, and we're going to focus on pet care and home and garden stuff, which as other businesses within their business. They're going to use the money basically to pay off a bunch of loans, pay off some investors, maybe invest in new equipment, invest in new locations. Who knows? Who knows what anybody's going to do with this? But I just thought, from the locksmith perspective, that y'all, if you've not heard about it, I'm sure you've heard about and in fact, we have talked about this transaction taking place on previous videos, but it was held up in court because they didn't want them to have everything. So, I mean, they got rid of Yale and Emtek and all that, and they bought, they sold 800 million and they bought 4.3 billion. That's a huge gap. So, I guess it was enough to satisfy the DOJ so that they could go through with it, but I just did want to let you know that here's the second part of that, talking about what they were planning on doing with the money. I just want to let everybody know that, yes, it is happening. We have ASSA ABLOY Kwikset, I guess, now, and what brought all this up was the email that we got about the commercial line, because a lot of you that follow me buy Yale branded, panic devices, grade 2 levers, grade 1 levers, deadbolts, a whole bunch of stuff. Is that going to affect the commercial line? Yes, in a way, because they sold the Yale brand. They sold the name Yale. So the vendor email, what we got, was talking about that. If you order, as of yesterday, when you order through QuickShip, which we don't really even sell Yale. That's more of a contractor thing, the commercial side of it. We have a lot of door companies that do have or under the QuickShip program for Yale. So what they're going to see basically is initially on the invoicing that they get, it's going to be Yale/Arrow, because they sold the Yale residential. They sold the Yale name in essence. So what they're doing is they're making all their Yale products under the Arrow name. So if it came in a box Yale, it's going to start coming Arrow. But according to this email, nothing's going to change about the products itself. Who knows if that's going to stick around? Whenever big transitions like this take place, you know that it's going to be very kind of dicey in the future as to whether or not they get in different products, whether they scrap some of the existing products, whether they change certain things. Who knows? We'll see in the next 2 to 3 years what's going on, if they're going to implement some of their other features of their brands of locks into the HHI, the Kwikset Weisers, which again we know about Weiser. It's Canadian only now, so this does affect the North American and the whole North American continent, basically, because no matter how you feel about Kwikset locks at a base, they are the leading residential lock in the world. Nobody can deny that, which is one reason why I've always wanted to purchase it. But in this email, it says that everything's going to stay the same about Yale. It's just going to pick up the Arrow moniker, the Arrow name, because we sold the Yale product. We can't use the name anymore, but we're going to ease you into it. So here's us saying, this is going to start being Arrow stuff. Be aware, it's still going to be Yale built the same way. Supposedly, it's just going to be called Arrow stuff. So If you buy Yale commercial, expect it to start seeing in future orders it being called Arrow. That's going to cause a whole bunch of grief with catalogs and stuff too, because they're going to have to change. Part numbers, I guess, are going to be the same. So on the commercial side, not a big deal. On the residential side, who knows, because that is now, boom, under Fortune Brands. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on Fortune Brands to see how that turns out. But in the meantime, I just wanted to update y'all and let you know what's going on, that it finally happened. ASSA ABLOY Quiksets are now a thing. So if you have any questions or comments, I can't answer anything beyond that, because I'm just a locksmith telling you what I've seen and what I've been kind of paying attention to, because it does affect us all, even though it's at the top level. You never know when things are going to change down the line because of those changes. So if you have any thoughts or opinions on this, or if you have any broadcast, or if you think something's going to happen in the future, post it in the comments section, and we'll catch y'all next video.